Good morning. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I'm here packing up the rest of the orders that we took in from this weekend. I feel like we had a pretty good weekend. We had 43 orders total, which came out to a net of $1,238.05. So I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, I want to do what I can to increase that as we keep pushing through the year. Starting to see more summer items like shorts, short sleeve shirts going out, which, as expected, we're getting to warmer temperatures. Unless you live in Georgia, it'll be amazingly beautiful one day, and literally the next day, it's back into the 40s. I mean, that's what happened this weekend. Shane and I finished up co-hosting our very first estate sale. It was really cool to see that side of things, going through everything, staging, pricing, talking with the customers, negotiating so you can close the deal. It was really cool. It brings a lot more perspective. So when I am outsourcing and I'm speaking to the employees or the owner of the estate sale company, I'm going to approach it probably a little differently. I don't feel like I was aggressive when I would approach it, but I'm going to have a little bit different perspective, which will that give me the edge? Who knows? Um, it will definitely give me more of a respect for what they're doing. We hope to be able to co-host some more in the future. Yes, it's a lot of work, just like the reselling side of things that I currently do. It's a lot of work. If you're willing to put in the work, then you're going to get the return out of it. So, when we agreed to do it, we knew work was going into it. And I think that every day that I came home from doing the sale, I took a nap. I was like, man, I'm exhausted. So I went ahead and packaged up majority of this weekend's orders on Saturday night. Yesterday, when we got home from the sale, we ran out on the other side of Atlanta. We picked up a lot of baseball gear Shane had bought from somebody off Facebook Marketplace. He put together a video to show you what he picked up. So by the time I got home, I was like, listen, we're stopping by Firehouse. We're grabbing a sandwich. And I'm going to sit on the couch and I'm going to vegetate. And that's what I did. So this morning, I'm going to pack up the rest of the orders. Shane already took the first load. Thankfully, where he works in the corporate world is very close to the post office. So he's going to run that by. I'm going to package these up and I'm going to make an extra trip out there, take these, because I really do try my best to get things out next day. I just want to add that little extra in my business in hopes that I can generate repeat customers with the quick shipping. So I will go through some of these things that I'm going to package up. I'm going to start with the clothes because typically when I do shipping, since obviously I'm in my house, my space is limited. I think that this business has consumed about 75% of my house. When we started this was not the intention. This was part-time for both of us. As we continued, it just became something that we really, really enjoyed. And we decided we're going to jump headfirst into this. We're going to grow this as big as we can. Thankfully, like I've said before, it has given me the opportunity to leave corporate. And now we're working towards an exit plan for Shane. So that means that I have to put in 200% now. And you know what? I'm okay with that, because if we can get to that level where Shane can exit the corporate world and we can do this together, I think that that's just going to make us stronger as a couple. I think that our abilities to do what we do, we're to be able to showcase that. And the very most important thing is kind of a two-part deal. We spend more time with family and we're doing what we love. So for us, it's a win-win. For any of you, I always like to stress that it has to make sense. You're not going to jump into this and be a millionaire. I am a true believer that you have to have experiences in life and you need to enjoy life because life is short. When I was in the financial world, I saw too many people that would literally retire from their corporate jobs and never got to enjoy life to its fullest, and unfortunately didn't get to enjoy all that money that they put back for retirement. So definitely put money back for retirement, definitely have a plan, but also find a way to create your budget to where you can enjoy life. That's very important. So that's my soapbox. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I'm gonna start with clothes because my shipping space is a little bit small. I've created a space here where our kitchen table is supposed to go, but it's just us and our adult son. So it's not that big of a deal as far as taking the table out. I start with clothes because once I start getting into the boxes, I usually have to cut them down, make them fit the item, so forth, so on. I don't want all that mess on the table when I'm trying to do clothes because I don't want to send the clothes out with just junk all over it from creating boxes. So here's the first one. This is Ralph Lauren shorts. It's a very small size 32. These are plaid. These are called the Tyler short. These sold for $17 plus shipping. Beautiful, beautiful colors. These plaid shorts with Ralph Lauren, they seem to be timeless. People still love them. I love them. I think they look great. It definitely reminds me of spring and summer when I do see them. When the cost of good going in is relatively low, we always pick it up. I will always go through and lint roll my clothes before shipping them out. Again, I don't want to present them in a way that looks like I just didn't care. Because again, I'm a firm believer that people work very hard for their money. And when you do purchase something, you want to get your money's worth. You want to feel like the money you spent was spent wisely. One of my pet peeves is if I'm ever out in retail and when they're ringing up your clothes, they just throw them in the bag. I'm like, what is wrong with you? I don't want it to be pressed and folded and put in the bag, but I just want you to respect the fact that I worked hard for the money that I'm using to buy this, and you're just throwing it in the bag because you don't care. So, sorry, pet peeve. So, I do like to just run the lint roller over them, especially when it's something that that Shane has pictured and put up because he doesn't put them in the clear poly bags like I do. I do it so I do a little bit more work on the front end. Him working full time, he has less time to do these activities, so he stores his in storage bins. So when I go to pack it, I'll run a lint roller over it. So we got that one going out. The next one I have is another Ralph Lauren piece. This one is women's, and I'm just double checking because I will run that lint roller, but it's a vintage women's polo. We picked these up at an estate sale. There were several different colors, and definitely being the vintage, you can tell the difference between the vintage and the current just because they're shorter. The length is shorter, but they're classic. Some might call them like a time capsule. They're classic. You know, you could wear this year, next year, and 10 years from now, because Ralph Lauren is just one of those brands that I like to say it's timeless, and the clothes are made well. So this one right here sold for $13 plus shipping. Our cost of goods going into this was like $1, mainly because at this particular estate sale, we bundled a lot of stuff right there on the last day. And the owner of this estate sale, she's absolutely amazing. and she always takes wonderful care of us. So we can't appreciate her more in what she does for us. So this one's going to go out to that buyer today. Bag this little bad boy up. So I was looking through the numbers of what's been happening in the store in the last 30 days. And I was like, okay, so just trying to use the intel that eBay provides with their reporting system. And it was showing that as far as offers in general, that they're down by 9.7%. And so when I dug in a little bit deeper, best offer that an order was generated from, meaning I got an offer and I accepted the offer, whether that was me sending a counter offer, going through that jazz, or just accepting the offer as I got it. Best offer on orders was at 43.2%. So almost half of my orders that we receive are based off an offer. So when someone likes an item, that tells me that it's very important to send those offers. I always price items up a couple dollars from what I'm seeing the selling price point is, so I can do these offers, knowing I'm going to go into it sending an offer so I can close the deal. As far as those offers, 22% of those were seller initiated. So 22% were me sending out an offer. That's a pretty good percentage. I mean, we're almost at a quarter of all the sales for 30 days. This is a 30-day track that I did. 34% of the items that went out in that 30 days were done without an offer. So that makes me think, okay, we're on track with our pricing, which makes me feel good, because that's always a point where I'm like, okay, am I pricing this where I'm competitive and where this item is selling for? Because again, the price of an item is what someone's willing to pay for it. So I kind of look at it in a couple different perspectives when I'm looking at it. The next item will be Tommy Bahama Shorts 2XL. As you see, I'm just double checking that I got the right brand, I got the right size. Here's our Tommy Bahama. I got the cool, what is that? Swordfish on the inside. And just some pull-up shorts. These sold for $12 plus shipping. These look like a good everyday short, comfort, elastic band. I'm a woman and I love stretchy pants. I love elastic band for sure, because you just have days where you're not feeling it, and stretchy bands on your clothes are amazing. So just a little bit of insider info on the way some females think. Next one, I was looking at some of the sales metrics. I was looking at net sales for 30 days. So past 30 days, and I looked at sales that no taxes, no selling costs, that was taken out. So we were at $99,519. So close to the $10,000 mark for 30 days. So again, I'm gonna work on bringing that one up. If you've got any strategies that could help me in doing so, I would appreciate that. The reason why I say that is you might have a different perspective than I have, and I'm always open to ideas, because that's how I grow, is I learn from those around me. I'm not a know every situation. I do like to use my networking and obtain information, insights, ideas from others, because some things work well for others, and what you're doing might work well for me. It might not, but it's worth trying it. I really want to increase that. because if I keep running at this pace, I'm projected to end the year to roughly 114,000, which is amazing. However, that's not going to get me closer to the exit strategy for Shane. Obviously, it's a step, but I want to keep building those steps. So if you've got any strategies out there, share them. I am open ears. I want to hear what you're doing. I want to understand, is it working for you? Did you see a difference? Is there something I'm not thinking about? Is it a perspective I'm not seeing? I want to hear from you. That'd be great. Do you have any goals for the year? Obviously, selling more is a goal. But do you have any goals that are more specific, whether you want to just increase your 30-day sales, you want to increase your quarterly sales, do you want to source more items, do you want to list more items? What are your goals? When I was in the financial industry, it was hard to get a customer's goal out of them. And I think a lot of it is because they look at it too narrowly. Like, when I would ask, do you have any goals that you're working on? And is there any way I can help you achieve those goals? They probably were thinking a goal of, I want to buy a house, or I need to get a car for my teenage son. Yes, that's a goal. But your goals can be even smaller scoped in, hey, I want to work my budget to where I'm going to save X amount of dollars extra each month. That's still a goal. It's not a big goal. It's a smaller goal. But sometimes you got to start using the stepping stones to utilize these goals, make these achievements, and then increase it over time, almost like the snowball effect. So, do you have any goals? What are they? Big, small? I'm just curious. All right, next item, rag and bone joggers. This is one that I pictured and listed. And again, I like to go and do the extra work on the forefront so I can get it bagged up, knowing that it's been, we launder everything that's used. So that goes through the process. But then when it's pictured, I always run the lint brush just in case. And I like to bag it. I like to put my little number on there. So when I have it in my inventory, I can find it faster and get it, put it in a bag and get it out. So we can get Shane on that exit strategy. We're going to get him on that program too. So these sold for $26 plus shipping. So very happy with that sale. I don't remember 100% where I picked these up. I think that they were part of this big lot of clothes I bought in a estate sale last June, but I'm not 100%. So if they were part of that sale, cost of goods going into those roughly came to about $3 per item. So not bad to take, if that's the case, 3 into 26. I'm pretty happy with that. So then when I was going back to, just looking at the numbers, looking at the metrics, I was looking at promoted. I know this has been a big conversation in our world because of the way that they've changed the promoted program. Some people are like, oh my God, I'm not going to promote because they're doing this. Some people are like, well, I'm going to promote still because it's working for me. Some don't really have any type of, what would be my word? Some don't care, and that's cool. I get it. We've always promoted at 2%. We're like, listen, we're going to do it. We're going to do it at a very low end. And if it comes in our favor that we sell the item quicker due to the promotion, I'll take it. You're already paying fees. So if you add an additional 2% and it gets your item sold faster, our perspective is that's a win-win. But I was watching another reseller, and I'm going to give you a shout out. And I hate that we didn't get to actually shake hands with you, and my husband spotted you on Peaches to Beaches. But I was watching Rev, the reseller. You're funny. I love you. I think that you and Nikki T are great. I love the fact that you guys get to do this together. But you were talking about you trying out increasing promotion just to see what happens when you increase the rate to 10%. So I'm going to give you credit for that idea because I kind of stole it a little bit, and I just started it this weekend. I'm only going to cherry pick a few items, increase my promoted rate to the 10%, and just kind of keep those in a mental bucket to see how that does for me. So thank you, Rev, for that idea, because it's not that I just wasn't thinking about it in that perspective. So I appreciate you. Anyway, promoted sales for me in the past 30 days are down 9.7%. Now it does said that promoted items sold was at 58.4%. But non-promoted items that I sold in 30 days was at 41.6%. So that's a fun fact for me in my store. Almost half of the items that were sold were promoted versus non. So it's like, okay, so I'm kind of in the middle. Which route do I really take? Do I keep going with what's happening and just allow it to be half and half? Do I think about increasing that 2% to like a 3% across the board? What do I do? Well, tell me what you would do in that situation. Would you let it ride? See how it plays out? Would you try to tinker with the promotion amount a little bit to see if that gains more sales? Or would you pull back and try to run non-promoted and see if you can keep up the percentage of non-promoted items selling? So just something I was toying in my mind this weekend as we were making that hour-and-a-half trip to go pick up items, and we like to listen to podcasts when we do that. And we got a few that we listen to. Some are a little bit more informational than others. Some are more for the entertainment. Let's just be honest. That's what they're there for. But do you promote? And if you do promote, are you revisiting those metrics that eBay gives you to kind of see how that promoting is working for you? Is it working in your favor, or is it hurting what you're doing? So just curious, want to see if this is something that that's going on across the board for everybody. All right, next item, Lulu. Now Shane said that he pulled it. I don't have it in my bucket, so I'm going to have to pass that one. Because again, his inventory system is a little bit different than mine. So I will just have to do a little digging on the Excel sheet that we've got so I can find the location and go get them. But I'm not going to put y'all through that. So I'm going to move on to the Cabela pants. I know he pulled these because I saw them. So he sold a pair of Cabela pants. He looked like a windbreaker type pant. And they're size large. So here's that inner lining. It's like a windbreaker type material. Black in color. And these were an international sale. So that kind of brings me to another question. Do you guys sell internationally? And if you don't, what would be the reason why you don't? Is it you just don't want to, or kind of nervous about doing so, not sure if you're understanding how it works, just curious. We've done it for 2 years now. I will say if things get kind of mixed up during the shipping process, as eBay says, they take care of it, which I appreciate, because we all know when things get to the shipping hubs, there's a lot going on and anything can happen. And you don't necessarily want to have to be the one that's on the hook with something that's out of your control. So I appreciate the fact that they back you up within those type of situations. I'll give you an example. We sold a a beautiful Ralph Lauren. It was a comforter set, brand new, sold it international. And for whatever reason, it got stopped at, I don't know if it was that country's border or what the case was, but it got stopped at the border. I don't know if it was the dimensions of it, because again, they didn't give us a full explanation that I understood at the time, but it did not get shipped to the customer. Since we did our part, we packaged and shipped it out within the time frame. eBay took care of it. They refunded us, or excuse me, they did not pull the money from us for that order, and they went ahead and took care of the customer too, because that was out of both of our control. Now, who ended up with the item? I don't know. For all I know, it could be in a unclaimed mail situation. So I like that they offer that protection when it comes to international shipping. So I appreciate them for that. One thing I do with international items, even though I know they go to the hub and I know that they check them, I still like to make sure that I'm trying to secure the item, just because I don't want it to get soaking wet or damaged while it's there. So put a little bit of extra tape on the sealed portion of this poly bag. It may not do anything, but in my mind, I'm just trying to do a little tiny extra. Those Cabela pants, if I kind of went out on and chased a squirrel and didn't tell you, they sold for $20 plus shipping. So I'm going to get those out the door. This is one of the items that I pictured and listed, and this is a Shirin, Shirin Guild. I came across this brand when we were in a estate sale. They did a two-parter because there was so much stuff in this house, and this closet was just full of beautiful clothes, and I had never heard of this brand. I looked it up and I was like, oh, the selling points of this is pretty good, you know. So I picked every single one of them out of the closet, and this item sold for $39 plus shipping. So cost of goods going into this ended up being $7.50 per clothing piece. So with the selling point that I saw when I was doing my quick eBay search, the $7.50 made sense. If the $7.50 didn't make sense, I wouldn't have picked them up. So I was happy with that. So now I can get to some of the non-clothing items, but still fun stuff. I have a Masters flag. So Masters coming up. It's going to be here in a matter of weeks. This is the 2006 Masters Garden flag. Phil Mickelson won this year, so that helped this flag in particular sell for a little bit higher in price. And this one sold for $59.99 plus shipping. So we lived in Augusta for about 5 years. My husband got transferred out there, and at that time I had retired from my job because they weren't going to let me work remotely. Everything I did for that company was by phone and by email, and they just weren't ready for that. This was 2017, so it was kind of a God thing, kind of saying, you know what, it's time to move on from this industry. And we moved to Augusta, and we met some amazing people out there. And one of the couples, Mr. and Mrs. Michaels, they blessed us by taking us to the Masters 2 different years. And that was an amazing place, I will say. If you ever get the opportunity to go, jump on it. I don't care if you're not really interested in golf. It's more so for the history of it, for the fact that so many people just love this event. And if you can be a part of it just one time, do it. I mean, I will add the food was pretty good. The food's pretty cheap. It was really good. The gift shop is pretty expensive, not gonna lie. But that's how they make a lot of their money, is off of the sales in the gift shop. And garden flags are something they sell every year. So, but we picked this one up here in the metro area, and I want to say that we paid like $10 per flag because we picked up all of them that they had. But here's the funny part. This flag that sold is going to Augusta. That's pretty awesome. So someone who lives out in Augusta must need this flag for their collection. And that's pretty awesome, just when you look at it like that. So, yep. Augusta's not too far where we're at now. It's about 2.5 hours. I have to get back out there because, as I was saying, our friends, one, I want to see them again because I miss them, because they're definitely special people. They definitely took us in their family while we were out there. They're just great people. And two, Mr. Ronnie, he's got one of my my garden gnomes from the Masters, because I was picking them up every year if I went to the event or not. Mr. Ronnie, who knows everybody in Augusta, if he couldn't pull tickets for the Masters that year, he would get someone who had tickets to get the gnomes. And one of the years after we left, he got me one. So I gotta go pick that little guy up. I need to make time. There's no excuse. I need to make time to go out there. So, all right. This is Shakeology. There's 8 packages of chocolate. We picked this up in Mississippi on one of our most recent trips down there. You've heard us say it before. We like to go down there to the Gulf area to do sourcing. For us and our business, it has made sense. We found some pretty cool items down there. And it also gives a little chance to have a little getaway when we go down there. So this package of 8 of them sold for $24. We bought, it's probably like a gallon-sized Ziploc bag of different flavors. The bag was marked $9.99, and we pulled it out a section of the thrift store that was at 75% off. So, and I did put up a video of us shopping through that thrift store. That owner was amazing. Just by talking with her, learned a little bit more about her and what she does. She does enjoy estate sales, storage unit clean outs. And so she opened up a thrift store. So I'm like, that is super cool. And she took Shade and I to where her warehouse is of the stuff that she can't get into the store, or there's stuff in there she hasn't had the time to process and go through. And that was pretty cool. So I'm going to get these out today. So what I did was I went ahead, I just put a little rubber band around them to kind of keep them together. I put them in a clear bag just in case one opens. To me, in my mind, it's just a little extra layer of protection. Did I need to do it? Probably not, but I did it anyway. I do some things like that may not make sense, but in my mind at the time, it makes sense. So that's what I'm going to do. What are some of your packaging quirks that you think, or that you've picked up that you have? Things you do that probably nobody else does. Things that you do to try to add that extra layer of protection. You might be doing something that I haven't thought of that I might want to steal, just to make sure that my package makes it there safely. Because good night, I have had packages that have been damaged, and it's just not fun trying to go through all of that to try to get that all resolved. It's just not fun. We got one that they wanted the item, which is fine, it's broke, and we took it to the local USPS, and we're just waiting for them to tell us what their investigation comes out to. I'm like, it's broke. So I guess they're going to decipher, in their opinion, if we packaged it in a manner to keep it safe. But okay, whatever. All right. So I got Dr. Mercola. Dr. Mercola has been a gift that keeps giving. This was a buyout. We came across, I think we bought like 150 bottles of this stuff. Cost of goods going in was like 30 cents a bottle. And this sold for $6.95 plus shipping. You look at the sale at $6, you're like, huh, fees coming out, this, that, and the other. But when you look at the quantity that we bought, cost of goods going in, if you looked at tracking of the sales, this stuff has paid itself off, and now it's doing really well giving back as far as profit. So not mad about that. What I typically do with these is when Shane sells and ships out golf clubs, he's got these pretty cool size boxes, and we save the end because obviously the boxes are bigger than the golf clubs, and we save the end, and then I just kind of modify my length to get these out because I will do everything I can to save on my cost of shipping supplies. So I use the eBay coupon, if you will, from my store to get items. I go to local stores and ask if I can have their broke down cardboard boxes after they've stocked shelves. I'm not afraid to do that because anyway I can kind of bring down my cost going into an order, I'm going to do it. So at estate sales, I will totally buy a lot of shipping materials there if they have it. For example, October last year, I came across an estate sale that they had these like 4-foot tall bags of peanuts, shipping peanuts. And I think they were asking like $8 or $10 a bag. Yes, please. Because if you go to Staples trying to get those, you're getting like a grocery bag for like 20 bucks. This route, it's so much more of a better bargain to get them that way. Luckily, I ran across another estate sale that was like 2 months ago. They had the shipping peanuts in the big old bag, and I think they wanted $10 a bag, and I bought every one they had because, yes, you can bring your cost of goods down on your shipping materials. Definitely do that because that's overall going to help your numbers for the end of the year. So there are boxes that we do have to buy because you're not always going to run across those, and that's understandable. But if I can get away with finding items that have a very low cost going into them, or I can get them for free, I'm going to do that too. So keep that in mind as something to look for when you're sourcing. Source for shipping materials that can help bring down your cost when it comes to shipping. So yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm going to reduce the size of that so I can get that shipped out. I love this one. This is a frame that it was right around New Year's. We went down to the golf, and we always go down for New Year's with our best friends. We like to go to one of these casinos because we always just have a wonderful time. But we also source, so it's kind of like a two-parter. And we went to an estate sale, and this estate sale had this. Look at this beautiful picture. I sold it for the frame if they want to keep the picture in there. No judgment here because it is a darling little picture. You can see the backside of the frame. And this frame sold for $58 plus shipping. So pretty happy with that sale. This picture has a signature on it. I don't know what it says specifically, but that picture's just darling. I've got a cassette tape. Shane bought a whole big bundle of cassette tapes at an estate sale. He said that the house, when he went into it, you could tell that they were borderline like a hoarder situation because of the amounts of items they had. And the estate sale company said they had to break this sale up into either 2 different sales, potentially 3 because of the amount of stuff. One of the cassettes he pulled out of there was Billy Idol. This sold for $12.95 plus shipping. So that was a good pickup. Got the frame. All right, these are fun. So I'm very excited about this because I was not 100% sure how quickly these would sell, because when I looked up the comps before we made this buy, it was okay, but it wasn't anything like, oh my gosh, I got to get there immediately, because it wasn't promising. But this is turning out to be pretty cool. So we did the buyout of the Disney and McDonald's memorabilia stuff, and we had some of the ornaments sell. But look how cute these are. So these are like from the 90s. And they're Christmas ornaments. And you got all your characters. And here you go with a little fireplace. Silly cute. So this particular lot I put together because I had to go, I'm still going through some of the boxes because I have honestly not gotten through all of this. All of this stuff that we bought, I'm trying to go through it and picture and get it listed as quickly as possible, but with everything else going on, I just can't make it happen. But I'm so happy how quickly these sold. So here's another cutie. I'm hoping it's at least clear enough for you to see, but you get the idea. These set of 4 ornaments sold for $32. So not a bad sale on something that I just wasn't sure price point, what they were going to sell at, and how quickly they were going to sell, because this is the second order coming out of that lot. We paid $260 for everything. This was a Facebook marketplace deal. When we went to pick it up, literally filled the back of my Bronco with the back seats folded down, completely full. And I'm talking put items singly in there. So the items were not in a bigger box. We had to put them in singly to get everything in there. So this was a good pickup. Kudos to Mr. Longmire, because he does keep an eye on the marketplace, see what's happening there, and he's not afraid to shout to me and say, hey, we got to go make a trip. We got to go pick something up. So he's really good about that. And I appreciate that, because I look on them, but I'm like the worst internet browser in the world, because I'll get on there and I'll look, and then it's like I get bored, or I'm like, the interest goes somewhere else, and I just quit. I quit browsing, quit looking, and I probably miss out on a lot of great things because of that. But that's why you got a partner in life. Whatever that partner looks like for you, companion, you guys, opposites do attract. That's one of our opposites, is he doesn't mind scouring for deals, if you will. That's not my thing. I'm trying to get better at it, because I know that that's how I can improve. I should make that one of my goals, is to improve when I schedule out my day, to take time to go and put in a time slot, even if it's just 30 minutes, to browse the marketplace and see if there's anything out there that I probably need to get my hands on. So I have another set of ornaments from that same lot. Look at this one. You got Santa Claus, the burglar. Again, these are all from the 90s. This one's cute. Santa Claus grimace with the Christmas tree. And I'm opening these back up because I want to just make sure that prior to boxing them up for shipment, I want to make sure they're all secured and packaged up well, because I want these to arrive in good condition. This one's cute. It's Ronald McDonald on the blimp, a hamburger. You got your nuggets on a sled. Stupid cute. So this ended up being a set of 6 ornaments, and they sold for $43 plus shipping. So super excited about that sale. I think there's one more in here. Yep, there's one more. So cute. So you got Ronald McDonald there. Looks like he's reading a bedtime story, and then you got the nuggets behind. They called them the McMemories. Here's the back side of that. I can make sure it's clear. But that was a great sale. So we had the plates go out to, so 3 orders so far. Not in the profit just yet. Actually, that's 4 orders. So now I'm thinking about it, because I have it right here. This sold too. So this is part of the Disney side of that lot that we bought. And this is a snow globe. And the snow globes sold for $37.88 plus shipping. And I swear a lot of these things, I think they were all new because of the condition. They were all in their original boxes, with the exception of some, because the lady who sold it to us said they had to discard some of the outer boxes because of the item being stored up. You can tell that the environment got to it, but when they looked inside, the item itself was in good condition. But this is so cute. It's like a rustic look. You got Tigger in his PJs and Eeyore, and up on top you got Piglet. And this one makes music. So cute. And this one sold pretty quick too. Christmas theme, and it's still sold. So 4 orders going out from that lot that we bought. So it's turning out to be promising, and I'm excited about that. Again, we have not, we're not in the profit just yet, but I'm confident at this point it's not going to take long for us to get there. And then I got one more item to show you. This is absolutely gorgeous. I bought this off of an auction. It was an estate sale auction. This is one of those things that I say this all the time. If it doesn't make sense for your business, don't do it. Because I paid $72 for this. This is Waterford. This is the King's Bowl. It's absolutely stunning. Does not have its original box, unfortunately. But I'm going to pack this up with some serious love, because I do not want this gorgeous thing to get damaged. $72 cost for this, and it did sell, and it sold for $225 plus shipping. So I bought this roughly January-ish, so 2 months. Not too bad. I'm not upset with it sitting for 2 months. Honestly, going into it, I thought I was going to sit for 6 months maybe. So I was very surprised at the turnaround in 2 months, and very, very happy with that. So I'm going to work on this one to get it packaged up, make sure I got a lot of shipping peanuts and packing paper around it to get it out in safe condition. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you what my morning's looking like. Going ahead and getting these items packaged up so I can get this stuff to the post office too. And just wanted to share some metrics with you that I was kind of looking at while I was eating my breakfast. I like to kind of look at the metrics, kind of sit and think about, okay, how does this affecting me? What can I do to help the store? So yeah, if you've got any feedback or information, um, send it out. I like to gain the knowledge. I know different things work for different people, and um, something that's working for you might work for me or it might not. But I'm willing to try it. Definitely willing to try it, because I was really kind of thinking about how do I really elevate what I'm doing now. Like, I'm not expecting to go from 0 to 100, but I want to get better. I want to get better at sourcing. I want to get better at listing keywords. AI is helping, and I'm not mad at it, and I'm not afraid of it, but I still have to put that human part in there. I want to get better at that. Um, I'm always working on my networking with people, because again, you got to surround yourself with people who do what you do, enjoy what you do, and are motivators that can help you grow. So I appreciate you taking the time, hanging out with me. I'm going to continue working so I can get this stuff out, get it over to the post office. And I hope to see you next time. Stay golden.